At just 34 years old, Ibrahim Traoré did what most men twice his age wouldn't dare even dream. He rose not through politics, but through fire, blood, and the trenches of Burkina Faso's forgotten war zones. While others wore suits and hid behind press conferences, Traoré wore combat boots and bled in the dirt beside his soldiers. He didn't come from wealth, legacy, or foreign training. He came from the raw dust of Coup, molded by hardship, forged by betrayal, and baptized by a war no one was winning. When the country was choking under corruption, foreign interference, and terrorism ripping it from the inside, he didn't ask for permission, he took responsibility. A captain, not even a general, leading a revolt with nothing but respect from his men and disgust for the system. While senior commanders wavered, he acted. While politicians debated, he moved. In a single night, power shifted from the hands of the compromised to the hands of the committed. The world didn't know his name on Monday. By Friday, he was the face of a revolution. This wasn't just a coup, it was a generational uprising. The youth saw themselves in him, a man who didn't wait for legacy to find him, but took it with both hands. In military history, few figures have ever pulled an entire state apparatus from beneath a sitting government without foreign backing, mass casualties, or civil war. But Traoré did. He didn't bribe his way in. He didn't smile for cameras. He walked into the heart of a rotting power structure and ripped the mask off its face. His rise wasn't sponsored, it was feared. He wasn't propped up by empires, he threatened them. In a continent where leaders stay until they die, he rose with no political party, no international lobby, and no corporate alliance. Just a rifle, a conscience, and the unwavering loyalty of those who had nothing left to lose. The system wasn't ready. Neither were the colonizers. One day he was a nameless captain, the next, he was the most wanted man in West Africa, not by terrorists, but by foreign diplomats in tailored suits. He took the airwaves and told his people the truth, not what was allowed. He named names. He exposed lies. He dismantled illusions. And in doing so, he awakened something buried deep in the bones of every African who'd been taught to wait, obey, and survive. He became a symbol not of rebellion, but of rebirth. And at 34, he wasn't just leading a nation, he was daring an entire continent to rise with him. Ibrahim Traoré did what generations before him only whispered about. He told France to get out, and he meant it. He didn't negotiate under pressure or send diplomats to beg for dignity, he gave a deadline, and when it passed, French troops were forced to pack up and leave. He didn't ask for freedom through treaties, he declared it on national television with fire in his voice and courage in his spine. Burkina Faso had hosted French military bases for decades, yet terrorism only grew stronger. He connected the dots and called it what it was, occupation disguised as assistance. While other leaders bowed, Traoré exposed the game. He accused France not of failure, but of feeding the fire they claimed to fight. He didn't wait for Western approval to defend his soil, he moved with the authority of a man who knew his people had suffered enough. When the French ambassador refused to leave, Traoré gave him 48 hours. When he stayed, Traoré made sure he was removed like an intruder, not a guest. He didn't send emails, he sent soldiers. He didn't write speeches for applause, he delivered ultimatums with zero hesitation. France called it anti-democratic, his people called it liberation. He shut down military agreements signed without the people's consent and exposed how those agreements protected foreign interests more than civilian lives. He ripped away the illusion that foreign troops were peacekeepers, and revealed what many feared to say out loud: France needed Burkina Faso more than Burkina Faso needed France. He didn't just remove them, he erased their influence. French media was banned. Military partnerships were scrapped. The currency system built by colonial hands came under fire. In one bold sweep, Traoré wiped out decades of dependency and control. He knew the consequences. Sanctions. Isolation. Threats. But he chose sovereignty over safety. While other presidents seek invitations to Paris, he burned the invitation and stood with his people in the streets. He made it clear, if you are not here to respect our land, you will not stand on it. His actions sent shockwaves not just through France, but across all African nations still quietly hosting foreign boots on their ground. He sparked a question that echoed through the continent: if Traoré can do it, why haven't the others? He didn't just change military strategy, he shattered a colonial spell. He redefined what leadership in Africa could look like when it's rooted in courage, not compromise. He stood against centuries of manipulation with the kind of raw defiance that made him more dangerous than any bullet. He wasn't reckless, he was deliberate. Calculated. Relentless. Traoré didn't just kick France out of Burkina Faso, he broke their grip on the nation's future, and dared anyone to try and take it back.